Welcome to another chapter of the Tao Te Ching. We're talking about chapter 55. 55 is an interesting chapter because when I do my Tao of the day with people, the Tao is one that is like, it's always serious and there's these things that are always happening. And this is the one that talks about a little boy's erect penis. And so it's often like it takes people aback, but there's a real interesting point here, and that's the shame or the expectation of things being a certain way and them not being that way. And this is entitled Inner Strength and Harmony. And so to have inner strength, and we're going to read through this in a second, and to have harmony, it's saying it's like a little boy. It's like a little boy for a lot of reasons. So let's get into this and really look at what this says. One who has inner strength is like a baby boy, unspoiled, flexible, and empty with no judgment. Bees, wild beasts, birds of prey cannot harm him. With no knowledge of the world, his penis can stand erect. He has no shame or questions of why. Caught in manifestation, the myriad scream for a time. He hardly notices. His harmony is so aligned he can scream forever without getting hoarse. He is powered by his harmony, and thus all fear is kept at bay. The master never speaks of possessing anything. Life is the blessing. Those who pursue power and excitement find themselves confused. They allow their emotions to guide them, and they become exhausted. It is not from Tao, and whatever is not from Tao arrives dead. Once again, we're getting this message of don't allow your emotions to guide you. We're getting the message, like we've heard this message before. Don't just go flit about like a fool. Like, be still. Find the stillness within yourself and execute that in your life. So there are a couple things that I want to kind of cover here. One, caught in manifestation, the myriad scream for a time. The myriad being all of us, right? Everybody else. Everybody that's not a little baby boy or baby girl. The reason that we're using boy here is because of the penis and the shame or the hiding of it and the influence under which we live to hide our erections, as teenagers, we're ashamed of them when we're in class and all of these sorts of things, right? So that's why we're talking about a baby boy. It very well could be a baby girl. We don't know. We can assume that if she had a penis, like she would, and it was erect, she wouldn't care about it either. I don't know if baby girls get wet or anything like that, so that's why we're using the baby boy. Now, we also get in the baby boy scenario, we get the stereotype of birds, bees, wild beasts, birds of prey, ... They cannot harm him. And we get the image of the little boy looking at the bee, or at least I get the image, the little boy looking at the bee on the, dandelion or whatever, like that like he's getting close to it. He's not afraid of it. And little boys don't get shooed away from bees very often, right? And so they'll do it, they'll look, and they'll be interested, and they're not afraid. And that's what it means that he cannot be harmed. It's his inner spirit that cannot be harmed. He's not pretending to be afraid because of his emotions or anything. He's just here having this experience. And this is what inner strength is. Can you do that everywhere in your life? Can you do that when you're, with your boss? Can you do that with your partner? Can you do that, everywhere in your life, knowing that you can't be harmed? You can't be harmed. You are not just this body, right? So you can't be harmed. With no knowledge of the world, his penis can stand erect. He has no shame or question of why. Imagine if you just lived your life and didn't have shame or didn't have to question, why is this happening? And I need to figure out an answer as to why or what this is or whatever, right? Like, just accept things the way they are. Okay, my penis is erect and that's interesting. I'm not even paying attention to it. I'm going to catch a ball or whatever. Whatever it is I'm doing. I'm not caught up in asking, why is this the case? What is going on here? What can I do to hide this? Or what can I do to not let other people see it? No, who cares? If they can't handle looking at it, that's on them, right? So it doesn't have anything to do with you. Caught in the manifestation, the myriad scream for a time, yet he can scream forever without getting hoarse because he is aligned with harmony. Right? He is powered by his harmony. He's in harmony with all things. And yet we go on to the news and we see people screaming, but then they got to shut up eventually. They got to reset. I know when I scream for a while, I get exhausted. So, I don't scream very often anymore. But hopefully I'm aligned enough with harmony that I can scream for a little while, but maybe not. The master never speaks of possessing anything. So what does that mean? Why do we move on to this idea of possession? Well, when we think about like screaming for a time, why are you screaming? You're screaming because you want something, you don't have something, right? You're possessing this erect penis and that's your responsibility, right? All of these things kind of come down to some idea of possessing. You're even possessing fear, where the little boy can't be hurt by wild beasts or birds of prey. So the master doesn't speak of possessing anything. Life is the blessing. Life, just living this life, whether I have an erect penis or not, or whether I can have an erect penis or not, or whether there's a wildebeest in front of me or not, or whatever. This moment, no matter what it is the blessing, and I should be grateful for it and recognize that this is something that I am also creating. If we've listened to the previous chapters, I am creator, like Tao, so too you, right? Like Tao, so too you. That was 52. Caught in manifestation, the myriad, we're moving on. Those who pursue power and excitement find themselves confused. They allow their emotions to guide them and they become exhausted. I really don't like pointing fingers, but like we can look at like Donald Trump as being somebody who is probably confused and who allows his emotions to guide him. And he's not, I wouldn't say he's looking out for the best for the country. He's looking out for the best for himself. And that's how I see it, whatever that, take that with a grain of salt or whatever. But they allow their emotions to guide them and they become exhausted. There are a number of ways to gain energy, but it's exhausting to let your emotions guide you. And because it's exhausting, you have to gain your energy from something. And if we were to talk about Trump, I'd say he gains his energy from his followers. He sucks it from them through his rallies and other things like that. It's not from Tao. And whatever is not from Tao arrives dead. Now, when we read this final line, whatever arrives that is not from Tao arrives dead, we have to recognize that there's always a balance, right? If we have listened to, if you know the Tao talks about balance. And it says, like the bending of a bow, the top is bent down and the bottom is bent up. You are patient. You recognize that things are going to balance out, and you be still and listen to the subtleness of your connection with all things. And that's how you can align with harmony, and that's how you can be your true self. You don't spend yourself. You don't exhaust yourself. There's never exhaustion. There's always room. Eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired. Be still, and you can find yourself. You can find that inner strength. You can find that harmony. Every time you judge yourself, look into it. One who has inner strength is like a baby boy, unspoiled, flexible, and empty with no judgment. That comes down to this end. That's how you can arrive without being dead, right? They allow their emotions to guide them and they become exhausted. Their work is not from Tao, and whatever is not from Tao arrives dead. But if you can be like a little boy, unspoiled, flexible, and empty with no judgment, you cannot be harmed, and you are in harmony, and you are tapping into your inner strength. Thank you so much for joining me. Once again, this is the Tao Te Ching. I'm just going through the chapters. So hopefully you're enjoying this series and what I have to say about them. And until next time, keep recovering yourself. Thank you.